For many years, the discussion around whether vegetarian or vegan diets provide complete nutrition has been a hot topic within scientific, medical, and wellness communities in the United States, where new dietary trends often gain rapid popularity. This question has become especially relevant with growing awareness about environmental sustainability, animal welfare, and chronic disease prevention. More Americans are turning toward plant-based diets, but this shift also raises serious concerns. Chief among them is whether a diet devoid of animal products can truly meet all of the body's nutritional needs. At the center of this debate lies a small but critically important nutrient, vitamin B12. Let's explore the fundamental differences between vegetarian and omnivorous diets, dig into the scientific research surrounding nutrition, and understand the unique challenges and advantages each dietary choice brings to the table. We'll take a particular look at vitamin B12, its role in the body, why it's missing from plants, what happens when you don't get enough, and how Americans following plant-based diets can protect their long-term health. Understanding human nutritional needs. Human health depends on the consistent intake of both macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, and fat, supply the energy and building blocks for muscles, organs, and systems. Micronutrients, which include vitamins and minerals, regulate metabolism, support immune function, and ensure cellular repair and reproduction. Other important components like water and dietary fiber also play crucial roles in digestion and disease prevention. Most of these nutrients are abundantly available in vegetarian diets, especially when the diet includes a diverse range of plant-based foods such as legumes, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and plant oils. These foods are naturally rich in fiber, antioxidants, and phytochemicals that help lower the risk of chronic illnesses like high blood pressure, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Protein, though often misunderstood in vegetarian diets, is generally easy to obtain through a varied diet. Foods like lentils, chickpeas, soybeans, quinoa, tofu, tempeh, nuts, and seeds contain good amounts of plant-based protein. However, plant proteins are often labeled as incomplete because they lack one or more of the 9 essential amino acids, the building blocks of protein that the human body cannot produce on its own. Fortunately, strategic combinations of plant foods can solve this issue. Pairings like brown rice and black beans, whole wheat bread with peanut butter, or lentils with barley can provide all 9 essential amino acids. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics has repeatedly affirmed that a well-planned vegetarian or vegan diet can meet the nutritional needs of people at every life stage, including pregnancy, infancy, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and even athletic training. That said, one crucial nutrient remains conspicuously absent from plant-based sources: vitamin B12. Why vitamin B12 is non-negotiable? Vitamin B12, also known as cobalamin, is an essential nutrient that plays a critical role in multiple bodily functions. It supports the production of DNA and RNA, assists in red blood cell formation, maintains neurological health, and helps convert food into energy. In particular, B12 is vital for preserving the protective myelin sheath that surrounds nerve fibers, enabling proper communication between the brain and the rest of the body. When your body lacks adequate B12, it can lead to a specific type of anemia called megaloblastic anemia, characterized by the formation of unusually large and dysfunctional red blood cells. But the consequences of B12 deficiency extend far beyond fatigue or anemia. They can include neurological damage, memory loss, mood disturbances, numbness or tingling in the hands and feet, and balance problems. If left untreated for too long, some of this damage can become irreversible. The problem: plants don't naturally contain B12. Here's the harsh truth. B12 is produced by bacteria, not plants or animals directly. In nature, grazing animals consume these bacteria from soil or water, and the B12 accumulates in their tissues. This is why meat, eggs, fish, and dairy products naturally contain this vitamin. In contrast, plant foods do not supply vitamin B12 in any meaningful amount, even when organically grown. Washing produce thoroughly and processing it with modern, Food safety standards further reduces any incidental B12 contamination from soil. For vegetarians who still consume dairy and eggs, some B12 may be present in their diets, though it's not always enough. For vegans, those who avoid all animal-derived foods, B12 is completely absent, unless they consume fortified products or supplements. Studies from the National Institutes of Health and the World Health Organization consistently show that many long-term vegans who do not supplement are at significant risk for deficiency. A personal example, Michael's story inside of the story of Michael, a 32-year-old software engineer from Seattle, Washington. 5 years ago, he adopted a vegan lifestyle, motivated by ethical and environmental concerns. At first, Michael felt great. He ate clean, cooked at home often, exercised regularly, and boasted high energy levels. But over time, he started feeling fatigued. Even after sleeping well, he found himself forgetting names, missing appointments, and occasionally feeling lightheaded when standing up too quickly. Initially attributing these issues to stress at work, Michael ignored the symptoms, but when he nearly fainted while walking upstairs, he scheduled an appointment with his physician. A complete blood count revealed macrocytic anemia, and further testing showed severely low vitamin B12 levels. His doctor prescribed him a daily supplement with 2.4 micrograms of cyanocobalamin, the recommended dietary allowance (RDA) for American adults. Within several weeks, Michael's symptoms significantly improved. His energy returned, his concentration sharpened, and the memory lapses disappeared. Today, he continues his vegan lifestyle, but remains vigilant about B12 supplementation. What happens when B12 deficiency goes untreated? 1. Deficiency isn't something you want to brush off. While early symptoms like fatigue and irritability are reversible, prolonged deficiency can result in nerve damage, cognitive decline, and coordination problems. People often experience tingling sensations in their hands and feet or unsteadiness while walking. In extreme cases, untreated B12 deficiency can cause permanent brain damage, severe depression, or even psychosis. Even more concerning is the fact that some individuals may experience neurological symptoms without displaying signs of anemia. That's why it's critical for anyone on a plant-based diet to routinely monitor their B12 levels, even if they feel fine. Who else is at risk for B12 deficiency? You don't have to be vegan to suffer from B12 deficiency. Several other groups face elevated risks. Older adults, around age 60, stomach acid production naturally declines. This acid is essential for B12 absorption. Lower levels of intrinsic factor, the protein that binds B12 in the gut, also contribute to malabsorption. Pregnant and breastfeeding women, a B12 deficiency in the mother can seriously affect the baby, increasing the risk of developmental delays, neural tube defects, and anemia. People with gastrointestinal conditions, diseases like Crohn's, celiac, or ulcerative colitis interfere with nutrient absorption. Those taking certain medications, metformin used for type 2 diabetes, proton pump inhibitors, and antacids can block or hinder B12 absorption over time. Patients recovering from bariatric surgery, because parts of the stomach or intestines are bypassed or removed, B12 absorption becomes less efficient. How to get enough B12 on a plant-based diet? If you're following a vegetarian or vegan diet, the safest and most reliable way to meet your B12 needs is through fortified foods and dietary supplements. Fortified foods include plant-based milks, breakfast cereals, nutritional yeast, and some meat substitutes. Always check the nutrition label to confirm how much B12 is provided per serving. Supplements come in many forms: tablets, sublingual under the tongue, lozenges, sprays, and even injections in cases of severe deficiency. The two most common types of B12 supplements are cyanocobalamin and methylcobalamin. Cyanocobalamin is more stable and widely studied, while methylcobalamin is a more bioactive form that may be better suited for people with certain genetic mutations or liver problems. Though the RDA is 2.4 micrograms per day for adults, many experts suggest higher doses for those relying on oral supplements, typically to 150 to 500 micrograms per day, or 1 0 micrograms a few times per week because only a small fraction is absorbed by the body. Comparing omnivorous and vegetarian diets, a nutrient by nutrient perspective. When comparing vegetarian and omnivorous diets, both have their advantages and drawbacks. Omnivorous diets make it easier to meet needs for complete protein, heme iron, and vitamin B12. Meat, fish, poultry, eggs, and dairy provide high bioavailability nutrients that are readily absorbed. This often simplifies dietary planning. On the other hand, vegetarian diets tend to be richer in dietary fiber, antioxidants, and plant compounds that fight inflammation and oxidative stress. Vegetarians usually consume more fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains, which may lower the risk of heart disease, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. Iron from plant sources, called non-heme iron, is less efficiently absorbed than heme iron from animal products. However, consuming vitamin C-rich foods like bell peppers, oranges, and strawberries alongside plant-based iron sources enhances absorption. Calcium is plentiful in dairy products, making it easy for omnivores to meet their needs. Vegetarians can get enough calcium from fortified plant milks, leafy greens like kale and bok choy, tofu processed with calcium sulfate, and almonds, omega-3. Fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA, are most commonly found in fatty fish like salmon and sardines. While vegetarians can rely on flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and algae oil supplements, conversion of plant-based ALA into EPA, DHA is limited and varies by individual. B12 remains the only nutrient completely missing from an unsupplemented plant-based diet. This makes it essential for vegans and most vegetarians to take proactive steps through fortified foods or supplements to ensure adequate intake. Empowering Americans to make informed dietary choice. Both vegetarian and omnivorous diets can support optimal health, but only when carefully planned. For plant-based eaters, attention to nutrients like B12, iron, calcium, and omega-3 south is critical. The availability of fortified foods and affordable supplements makes it entirely feasible to meet all nutritional needs without consuming animal products. However, awareness and education remain crucial. Many people assume that a vegetarian or vegan diet is automatically healthier, but this isn't true unless nutritional gaps are actively addressed. For people like Michael, a simple daily supplement restored his energy, focus, and confidence in his dietary choices. If you're exploring or currently following a plant-based lifestyle, get your B12 levels checked annually, especially if you experience fatigue, brain fog, or tingling in your extremities. Consult a registered dietitian or healthcare provider about the right supplementation approach for your lifestyle. In the end, the best diet is one that fits your values, supports your health goals, and is realistic for your everyday life. With the right knowledge and planning, both omnivorous and vegetarian diets can lead to long, healthy, and fulfilling lives. The choice is yours. Just make sure it's an informed one.